Pokemon should steal from TemTem? Yeah, I think so, actually. Let's talk about it.
Bros and badges, gotta collect them all.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to a wonderful episode of Bros and Badges. I'm here with Zach today because I forced him into this video idea, and we're just going to kind of jump into it because I feel like the comments are already scorching me. Now, for those of you that don't know, Pokemon is a big franchise. So big, in fact, that in the last 10 years, we've had multiple egregious Pokemon copies. I'm talking Pow World. I'm talking that new weird Legend of Zelda / Pokemon game that had to change its name because they literally just stole everything. But also we get some really cool, more creative takes on it. And one of the cooler ones that came out in recent years is TemTem. Now, TemTem was a game that was launched via Patreon. It had a very successful Kickstarter, so much so that it did eventually release to, I want to say, positive reviews. I was one of the people who actually even backed the original Patreon, so trust me, I was excited for TemTem. Now, when it did come out, there was a little bit left to be desired, but TemTem as a brand continued to grow. They made their next game, which was TemTem Swarm, which was kind of a vampire survivor-esque game, which was a cool switch up, but very different from its original release. And now, in the last month, they announced their new game, TemTem Pioneers, which is showing something more of a Pow World take on TemTem, which is now a bootleg Pokemon games take on a bootleg Pokemon games take of Pokemon. So somehow we're now in original territory. I think they went so far copying that we're like at something unique. And the reason why I want to talk about that today is because the gameplay in TemTem Pioneers has something that I think a lot of Pokemon fans like myself, like Zach, have been kind of dreaming of. And that is a Pokemon game where you can actually play as the Pokemon. No, not so much like Mystery Dungeon. No, also not so much like Pokken Tournament. Also not like Poke Park.
Oh, so you already can play as a Pokemon. Like,
yeah. I guess that's poor timing, poor wording for what it is. But in reality, TemTem Pioneers is looking to do something a little bit different, and that is an action RPG take on a creature battler. So in this game, you are literally catching Temtem. Almost said Pokemon, but no. These are different from a legal standpoint, okay? These are legally different enough. But you're catching these Temtem, and then when you're going out and battling, you're actually playing as them. You have your same type advantages. You have your same, pretty much everything. Your moves are exactly the same from the original game, but it is action combat. So you're going around, you're using these moves, you're dodging. This is something that Pokemon has never fully dipped into, and that's kind of what we want to talk about today. So I sent over the link to the video to Zach so that he could check this out and kind of be a little bit more, new to the situation, because as I said, I've been following TemTem. And Zach, you've seen the gameplay. We're probably putting it up on the screen right now. What do you think? Am I crazy? I know we're both Legends EA's lovers, and they nail us to the cross for that one, but I personally think an action take could be really fun. What are you thinking? Am I too crazy?
yeah, I don't know a ton about TemTem. Honestly, I don't know hardly anything. I've never played TemTem, but seeing this trailer does make me really want a Pokemon game in this format. Like, to be able to be some of our favorite Pokemon and actually battle with them in an action RPG setting would be so much fun. Again, like, you have stuff like Pokken Tournament, etc., Mystery Dungeon, but they don't play the same way as this. I just love how this UI looks. I love how the actual battle mechanics of it look. It feels very fresh. Feels almost like a Final Fantasy VII remake, but with TemTem, with Pokemon, if you will. I would love to see that, where you get to be Pokemon and you're actually battling in a real setting. You're running around with Pikachu. You get to choose like when you use Thunderbolt, and like, I don't know, like, it sounds like so much fun, and it looks like such a fun experience. I definitely think that Pokemon should steal from this. TemTem obviously has stolen enough from Pokemon. Why not steal back? You know what I'm saying? The cycle goes round and round. And actually, I will say, I think TemTem has a unique art style. They definitely went for kind of like the cartoonish look. So I think from like a standpoint, like, I don't really think they stole a ton from Pokemon. That's not really what I'm saying. I think they just stole from the, have a monster battle with it idea, which is, a lot of people relate to Pokemon, but that is not completely original to Pokemon. This is me going out there saying I don't really want Pokemon suing TemTem anyway. I think the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are way too lawsuit happy as it is. Anyway. all that to say, I would just love to see a battler like this in an actual Pokemon setting with Pokemon that I know, not like these TemTem that I don't, So I'm with you, man. Whether or not we see that in a mainline format, I doubt it. I don't think we would ever see something like this in, say, Winds and Waves. But I do think we could see some version of this in a Legends game. The Legends games are where they like to experiment and try out different formulas, different battle formats. We already saw a bit of like a real-time battle system in Legends EA, but I would love to see that expanded upon. Like if it went this deep, but you actually got to play as the Pokemon instead of just telling it what moves to do, I think that would be so much fun. Like you're actually running around as the Pokemon, getting to choose how to battle other Pokemon. That would be so much fun. And maybe there's a way to implement a little bit of like trainer agency into it as well. But I wouldn't even mind just a full-on game where you just are the Pokemon. Maybe get rid of the trainers entirely. Maybe there's a new Pokemon spin-off game that is all just be a Pokemon. Like you get to be a Pokemon yourself. You're choosing what you're battling in the woods, in the volcanoes, in the different regions, different areas. Going on your own Pokemon adventure. I think that would be a phenomenal game. And TemTem's doing it pretty well. Why not take a page? Just take a page. Copy their homework but make it look different. That's what all of these games do anyway. They copy the homework, just change up just enough, to squeeze by. But yeah, Joe, I'm into this. I think this would be a super fun game. Like watching this, it kind of gets me interested in maybe checking out this TemTem game. Is this a game you're planning on checking out too, or is it just fuel for Pokemon?
If it gets a Switch 2 drop, which I'm sure it will because TemTem did come to the Switch, I'll definitely check it out. I'm not big on like the survival games, like having to build and do stuff like that. So that section of the game probably has me a little bit more worried, although I know a lot of people love that. I just think we're still trying to find the next Minecraft in that area of gameplay. But being able to play as the creature, run out. I love me action RPGs, and I think you made a great point with like Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy made the jump from turn-based to action combat back with 15, and they kind of never looked back since. And I know some people kind of don't like that, but Pokemon has this unique ability to have spin-offs that are pretty much just as big, just as beloved, but do something completely different. And I think that this is something that they could totally do. And like you said, even if it's just a game where you're picking a Pokemon and you're just going on an adventure as that Pokemon, imagine if you're building your party, like you're running around and instead of catching Pokemon, you're asking them to join your party, and you have real-time combat and the ability to switch characters, something like a Tales of game or something of that nature. Like it would be so sick. I think it would be so sick, and they're just sitting on money. I mean, they're sitting on money regardless. Their whole company's built exclusively with money.
They're sitting on money in many different ways.
Yeah, in every way possible, literally, figuratively.
They're burying it in the ground like Grandpa and his gold supply. Anyway.
Let me know down below if you guys are planning on playing TemTem. If you even knew TemTem Pioneers happened, please show support to that company. I think they're doing some really cool stuff. And if we're not going to get it from Pokemon, it'd be cool to support the people that are going out of their way to make these interesting new takes. And let me know if you guys agree that Pokemon should totally make a game in this style, because I think it would just be really cool. Again, not mainline. They don't have to touch mainline. Don't kill me. Put the pitchforks down. That could stay turn-based. We also have champions. It's not going anywhere. Turn-based is not going anywhere. But I do think it'd be a fun foray into a new style of game. So let us know down below if you guys agree, if you guys disagree. Honestly, just comment anything so that people will see this video, because that's why we make it, for you guys. And we can't make it if there's no guys. There's no you guys, right? It's bros and badges. Without you guys, it's just badges, although we are bros.
So just comment shill 40 times. Shill, 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 shill.